Christ's spirit first appeared as a man.
D'abord, je m'appelle Biraima, j'ai 12 ans. J'ai peur de rien du tout et parle comme un vrai salopard.
Religious radicalism meets song and dance, Tuareg rhythms from the sands of the Sahara, and the compelling story of a child soldier. That's all coming up in today's show. We're starting off with one of the founding mothers of a movement that shaped America. The Testament of Anne Lee is an exploration of the Shaker community in the 18th century, starring Amanda Seyfried as a woman possessed by her divine role. The film seeped in song and dance like the Shakers themselves. Eve Jackson and Jerome Vasilakos went to meet the cast and crew at the premiere here in Paris.
She's an actress I grew up with, whether in Mamma Mia or Tattoo.
I like her. She's bubbly and cheerful.
I saw her recently in The Housemaid. She was remarkable as Nina Winchester.
She reinvents herself with every film. At every stage of her life, she does great things.
She starred in Mean Girls, Mamma Mia, and she earned an Oscar nomination for Mank. Most recently, she was in The Housemaid, the box office hit alongside Sydney Sweeney.
Hi, Millie. Hi, Mrs. Winchester. Oh, please call me Nina. Come on in.
Now Amanda Seyfried is in Paris to promote her new film, The Testament of Anne Lee. Critics are saying it's her boldest and most daring role to date. In it, she plays a radical religious leader from the 18th century. And for that, she learned a Mancunian accent and mastered ecstatic dance.
The time is near at hand. I know it. Do not be frightened.
Who was Anne Lee and why did you want to play her?
Oh boy, Anne Lee was a brave, brave woman in a time when most things for women were impossible. She is the founder of the leader of the Shaker movement that moved to America in the late 1700s. She's from Manchester, and she basically gathered a community and built it based on equality between gender and race in a time when that was impossible. And they worshiped through song and dance, and they said three of them still exist today, and there was absolute celibacy. Yes, she's an enigma.
During my incarceration, a sense of release swept over me, and my whole being was suffused with inner harmony and peace. And I feel that all my sins are now forgiven.
You levitate, you dance ecstatically, you speak with an amazing Mancunian accent. What was the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge was that the accent was incredibly hard. You know, as an actor, as a performer, you know, I shape shift all the time, but this was significantly harder than any other accent. Like, dancing is also very hard for me, but the dancing didn't come close to, you know, staying in the Mancunian the whole time.
In 1774, after imprisonment and persecution for her faith, Anne Lee sailed to America with 8 followers and went on to build what became the largest utopian society in American history. A story director Mona Fastvold co-wrote with her husband Brady Corbet, the director of last year's Oscar-winning drama The Brutalist.
I was just really taken by her story when I discovered it. I thought, this woman is about to be erased from history, and then I think that's a real shame. She had some radical, interesting ideas that we should look at.
Brady, do you see any parallels between this and The Brutalist?
They're both movies that are about characters that are foundational to the American experience, and the Shakers were responsible for many extraordinary domestic inventions that we all use every day, like the washing machine.
Why did you want to tell the story in such a bold musical way?
I think it was the only way to tell the story. You know, the Shakers worship through ecstatic song and dance, so they live their life sort of like a musical. I wanted to give her an epic story. I wanted to give her a grand story, and I wanted to bring in all of that sort of, that joy, that the sensuality of the movement, intoxication of this sort of these group rave parties that they would have. It's the only way that I could sort of justify how 6,000 people decided to give up sex to live together in celibacy and equality. You know, it had to be something else. They had to let it out somewhere. And I thought maybe I can find that sort of ecstatic, almost like sexual, sensual experience through movement.
An ocean I see without bottom or shore. Feed me, I'm hungry, enrich me, I'm poor. I cry unto God, I'll never cease till my soul's filled with love and sweet.
Anne Lee talks about equality, she talks about caring about the earth and overturning tyrannical governments. How relevant is all of that today?
It couldn't be more relevant. Anne Lee's messaging, her value system could not be more relevant. You know, you hope that we learn things from history. I think we all need reminders, and through art, we are constantly reminded of what beauty humanity can create and behold. And this is a gentle reminder that just because tyrannical governments still exist in 2026, it doesn't mean that we are lost. But I have to say that out loud to myself all the time. So I need a little hope too.
Supposedly a quote near her death, which says, all tyrannical governments shall be overthrown and equality and justice for all. And it was heartbreaking shooting it, thinking about her being so hopeful at that time. And then here we are today.
This is the vision I shall carry in my heart for the rest of my days.
Next, they've been ambassadors of Tuareg culture for more than 45 years. The Grammy Award-winning group Tinariwen have now released their 10th album. It's a musical return to their roots in Mali and Algeria and a powerful defence of a people in exile. Well, as the group embarks on a European tour, Sonia Petrucelli and Aurore Dupuis went to meet them.
Bonjour, nous sommes les Tinariwen pour France 24.
Desert blues, notes that resonate from the Sahara to Paris. Tinariwen is back. The Tuareg band unveils a new tune from their 10th album, Hogar, named after the volcanic peaks in the desert.
We really tried to go the extra mile, especially with the acoustic guitars. Also, many musicians came and joined us.
Among them, Tuareg and Sudanese women.
In traditional Tuareg music, 80% of the voices are actually women's voices.
We were happy to meet a new generation of women who came to the studio on their own to sing. Some heard their voices in the headphones for the very first time. We should encourage them to keep going.
Born out of exile, resistance and hope, their tunes reflect Tuareg history. Rebellions, droughts, economic woes. The musicians were forced to flee northern Mali and are using music as a weapon. In Abba Malik, they denounced the presence of Russian mercenaries in their region.
They slaughtered our population, our animals. People were hunted down. They fled their homes, their land, and ended up at the Algerian border. We've never felt so alone. No one supported us.
Their lyrics speak of their people's suffering and a culture under threat. Yet on stage, that weight becomes energy, captivating fans worldwide. Tinariwen, the desert dwellers turned Grammy Award winners, are touring Europe this spring to make their voices heard.
Now to an animated film that features a 10-year-old protagonist, yet tackles issues no child should experience. Allah Is Not Obliged follows orphan Birahima as he makes his way from Guinea to Liberia and is recruited as a child soldier on the way. Based on the award-winning novel of the same name, it's a rare and urgent account of a phenomenon that's only too common in conflict zones. Here's more from the film's main voice actor in French and its director.
D'abord, je m'appelle Birahima, j'ai 12 ans. J'ai peur de rien du tout. Et parle comme un vrai salopard.
The aim of the film is to shed light on these stories that we know very little about, or only see from afar, and that we even tend to believe are romanticized or don't really exist. I think that simply talking about them and as artists, bringing attention to the subject is the best thing we can do.
From the moment we began the adaptation until today, the situation has only worsened. Of course, in Liberia and Sierra Leone, there has been some kind of peace since the end of the wars, but the story of this character could clearly be applied to many places in the world today.
Maintenant, j'étais Birahima, l'enfant soldat, sans peur ni reproche.
Tu seras capable de combattre, soldat?
We're wrapping up the show with a deep dive into the Chiaroscuro painting technique. A new exhibition with contemporary pieces from the Pinot Connection is on at the Bourse de Commerce in Paris. We'll leave you with a glimpse of those glimmers of dark and light. Otherwise, do join us here next time on Arts 24.